Is politics just about votes? Is it just about letting your opposition down, whatever the cost may be? And in this case, in your talks, the political slipfest which took place, rather it takes place most of the time, you can drag anybody, any historical figure, prominent personalities into your political discussions and try to use them to get votes. Hello viewers, Namaskaram, Vanakkam to all of you. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Layman History and Geopolitics. So friends, today we are going to talk about a topic which is very important and something which we have seen taking place in Delhi in our parliament. The topic is about Dr. Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar, and we all saw what happened, what transpired for 3 days. Our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, gave a statement regarding Babasaheb Ambedkar. The opposition took some experts out of that statement, and after that, a political slugfest. All we saw in front of our eyes. There was opposition, there were marches, there were boycotts, the MPs were fighting against each other outside the parliament, the debates were raging on. And in the name of whom? A person, an eminent person, a historical figure par excellence. Like, there is no one like Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar. And you are trying to score brownie points in your petty politics by taking his name. Is that fair? Are there any principles in politics? It doesn't seem there are any principles in politics, as is pretty evident from the ways our MPs were fighting. Mr. Rahul Gandhi was a BJP MP from Nagaland, I believe. She was saying that Rahul Gandhi pushed her. And then there were cases that Congress MPs were saying that they were not allowed to go inside the parliament by BJP members. Is this the way our politics has come to? No principles, nothing, just the eye on the vote bank politics, caste politics. Let us talk about Baba Bhimrao Ambedkar. Baba Sahib, as we all know, was born in 1891 in Mao. That's an MP today. His father was a Subedar in the army. And Baba Rao was the youngest of his 14 children. He was the 14th member of his family, thus the youngest. He went to school as his parents enrolled him in the school. In the school, Baba Rao Bhimsao Ambedkar at that time came from the oppressed classes. So what happened was that he was not allowed to sit inside the class. He and his members from his caste or some lower caste, as we are told, were made to sit outside the class, and they used to carry a gunny sack along with him on which he used to sit. And every day he used to take that gunny sack back with him and bring it back again in the morning to sit. He was not even allowed to drink water from the main school tap or maybe whatever the utensil there would be. See the discrimination the person went against. If he had to drink water, a person from higher caste apparently used to pour water from a height, and then Baba Sahib used to drink water. In that case, the person who gave him water was the PN of the school. And if at times the PN was absent, Baba Rao used to remain thirsty during that entire day. Look at his struggles, a small child going through this ordeal of untouchability. How deep rooted it was in our culture, in our society. Again, in 1897, he came from Mahar caste basically. Mahar caste was considered a lower caste in Maharashtra. And in 1897, he went to Mumbai. He joined a school. And it is said that he was the only person from his entire caste, entire community who went to school at that time. When he completed his graduation, he enrolled in his graduation and completed his fourth grade in English. His entire community celebrated it as an event. They felt so proud of him that he has accomplished something. Despite all these prejudices, Baba Sahib prevailed And most of the people of among us know him to be the maker of our constitution, the person who drafted the Constitution of India. But he was a professor, he was a lawyer, and he was an economist also. He went to the University of Columbia, then he went to Gray's in London, and he completed his law from there. And when he came to India, actually his education was sponsored by the state of Baroda. He had a scholarship from there. Due to some unfortunate circumstances, he lost his job and he started an investment business, investment advice business in India. But since he came from a low caste, his business failed because his clients did not support him. Such was the case with the person. See the problems he went through in his life. In 1927, he started taking part in demonstrations and processions. And first of all, what he wanted was that the untouchables, the depressed classes, should have equal rights of drinking water from the public resources. See what India was at that time. In 1926, if I remember, he fought a case for three leaders from lower caste who had spoken against Brahmin domination in Indian politics, pre independence politics, and they were sued by the Brahmin people. A case of libel was filed against them, and he saved them from the clutches of the law. So his agitation now was that his people should have drinking rights from the water resources. In 1930, he organized a Kalaram temple movement in Nashik. What was Kalaram temple movement in Nashik? See, the oppressed classes, which we know as scheduled castes and scheduled tribes today, but they were known as oppressed classes back then. They were not allowed to enter the temples. They were considered untouchables. They were not allowed to go near the periphery of the temples. They were discriminated a lot against. So what he did was he organized Kalaram temple movement. He 15,000 people at that time started marching from a place in Nashik towards the temple. It was a highly disciplined march. In the head of the procession, there was a military band, and then people were very disciplined because they were going to see their deity for the first time. And what happens? The Brahmin priests of the temple close the gates. They do not allow the people to see the deity. See the caste discrimination going on around in Indian society back then. What the person went through, just see it. Untouchability to its highest sphere. A person from a downtrodden class achieves success. He's a lawyer, he's a professor, he's an economist. Still, he's going through all this in Indian society. That was the place of our society back in those times. And then what happens is in 1932, if I'm right, he signs Pune Pact with Madan Mohan Malviya. What was happening was that British had announced separate electorates for oppressed classes uh, in communal ward, means that the oppressed classes were going to get reservation in communal award, which Gandhiji said is not okay because it will fragment Hindu society. Then what happens is Madan Mohan Malviya represented other Hindus, and BabaSaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar represented the oppressed classes. They signed a pact, and the oppressed classes got reservation from the general electorate, from the quota of the general electorate in provincial assemblies of provinces. Such was the case, such was the enormity of the situation. Think at the aura of the person, how he fought for his people. And there we are today, uh, just bargaining over his legacy. I would rather use this word as bargaining because this is what our leaders are doing. There are no principles whatsoever in today's politics. In his entire life, Baba Sahib was against Congress. It is another question that in 1947, when Indian Constitution was being framed, he was made the chairman of the committee. He was appointed the first law minister of India. But then his words were that I've made this constitution, but most of its parts are against my will. If given the first chance, I would the first person to basically change or do whatever he wanted it. See the bias today, what is happening in Indian society on the name of such a great personality. Our leaders should sit and look inwards. Do they have right to take Baba Saheb's name? Do politics has name? A person who went through so much, and you are born with silver spoons in your mouth, and you are doing five-star hotel politics. Does it see? It's for the people like us to see, the whole society to see what these politicians are playing, taking the name of Baba Sahib, trying to take politics, play politics, score brownie points, get votes of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, which oppressed classes are known today. When Baba Sahib made constitution, drafted the constitution, he wrote that there would be no discrimination. He provided reservations to the oppressed classes. And see the aura of the person and what we are doing today. Do these politicians have the right, even the right to take Baba Sahib's name? Let alone be harping on his legacy, that we are the true inheritors of his legacy. Is it correct? That's for people like us to see, the common citizens of India to see that we carry his legacy forward and don't allow these politicians to use his name to meet their political ends. That was all from me for today. My name is Abid Mahajan. Namaskar, Vanakkam to all of you. I request all of you to kindly like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel, Layman History and Geopolitics. Thank you.